They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't.
Y'all know what time it is. Your boy is back. I'm Wole. I'm here in the building. I got a special guest. I'm going to introduce him early, but you're listening to the Urban Sports Scene. It's our Commanders podcast edition. We got some Commanders talks. You know what time it is. Anyway, before we get into all that, let's knock out some logistics. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, tune in, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also check out our website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. You can also subscribe to our Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. Please just hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, let's get into our tradition, the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. Host of the Afternoon Kick and Breaking Command Entertainment's Darian D.H. Williams will join me to talk about former New England Patriot wide receiver Wes Welker joining the Commanders coaching staff and also personnel staff as well. All right, let me introduce the homie DH off the rip. What is going on, DH?
Hey, man, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I get to see my homie again. I've seen him such a long time. For blessed. Life is good.
Man. It's been a minute. Yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I'm, as always, man, as a cousin of the program, I'm very happy to be here. Been kind of sporadic with the off season, but it's all good, man. I'm excited, man. I got a whole bunch of stuff I'm working on right now, so I'm glad to be able to fit in some time to talk about our Commanders, brother.
Hey, man, we see you, man. DH is one of the most busy, one of the most hustling dudes in the world, man. It reminds me of like back in the day. I know folks don't remember this because I'm probably gonna age myself. We watched it Live in Color, and they used to do this skit about a Jamaican. I have 3 jobs, man.
I got 3 jobs.
I got 10 jobs, man. You know what I'm saying? You look DH out the streets, they do everything.
Man, listen, man, you got to get it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about my daughter is that, bro, she need food. You know what I'm saying? She gotta eat, you know what I mean? Daddy got to eat too, but I can miss a few meals. She can't, bro. She don't want to know what that's like. So we got to be out here and get it, man. But I will say this, man. It's it's always a pleasure to be here. And then as somebody who is always understanding, man, I'm always happy to support you. And I'm glad you always support me and you hold me down. So regardless of what I got going on, while he always shouts me out, he always hold me down. He always looks out. So I appreciate you, brother.
All right, bro. The feeling is mutual, bro. Real talk. Before we get into the actual topic, man, first of all, are you happy with some of these moves that the Commanders have made? I don't feel like we talked about it.
I know, yeah, man. We kind of been chilling, man. That's the value of having a good team, right? You get to the NFC Championship and you really feel like, hey, you got a good squad together. You don't really have to do a whole bunch in the offseason, unlike previous off seasons where we're searching for a quarterback or searching for a new coach or trying to get a GM. We're pretty stabilized, man. We pretty much are chill right now. So I'm happy with some of the moves that they've made, man. Adding some bookend type players with Laramie Tunsil and adding Deebo Samuel. Like, I mean, hey, they see what the goal is, and falling literally one game short, like that joint I sent you earlier today, man. With when my man Joe Buck was said that joint, he was like, man, the Commanders have won the Super. I'm like, yo, he literally was one game away from that, man. So I'm excited to see what they've done. This lets you know that they have a stable front office who just make regular moves, normal moves, nothing too crazy, just trying to fill in the roster and trying to get better. And I love to see what's happening, man.
You talked about Laramie Tunsil. What are your thoughts about that acquisition? We finally another bookend left tackle. No knock on Brandon Coleman, who played well for a rookie, but this is there are levels to this, right?
For sure. I mean, left tackle is one of those positions in the league that, unless you draft one, it's hard to get a great tackle. You know what I mean? Quarterback, cornerback, those types of positions, those elite type of positions, man, the top end guys don't really come around like that, right? So to be able to get a top 5 as considered around the league, a top 5 left tackle to come play for you, and for a really inexpensive price, man, you don't pass that up, man. And you look at it like this, man. I got the prize piece in the backfield at quarterback. I have to do everything I can to protect him. And you saw last year that offensive line was a struggle, even though Jayden made us look a little bit better, but offensive line was a struggle. So anytime you can add, top 5 type talent in a position of need, you definitely go do it. So I love that move.
Yeah, I loved it as well. Also, I didn't talk. I'm trying to get all the
Out the way,
DHT
man.
out here.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Look, man. What about Debo, bro? I haven't heard you talk about Debo on this platform. Go ahead, man. Tell me about Debo. Your
I will
thoughts,
say
man.
this. I will say this, man. Oh, and shout out to my partner in crime, man, Rio Robinson, man. We'll be back. I think in the next 2 weeks, right before the draft, we'll do an episode Wednesday on the afternoon kicks. I want to give shout out to my boy, shout out to my partner. But we ain't really talk about too much either. You know, everybody been busy. But to your point, man, I think Debo will be a big addition for this offense. You saw last year what they tried to do. And having a piece like Debo Samuel, I think will add a great addition. I mean, I was curious, as another Samuel, I think Curtis Samuel in the offense that we had last year would have been a big weapon, right? I think going to get a guy that can do so many different things, can be versatile. He can be in the slot, he can be in the backfield, he can go out wide. I think that's going to be a big bonus for Jayden Daniels, because as you can see, man, Jayden's going to find the open guy. He's going to get the ball to the guys, and then Cliff Kingsbury is going to be able to draw up some unique things. I know people kind of talked about my man Diami, but he had a lot of opportunities in this offense last year to do some special things. He had the pass against Dallas that OZ dropped. They was using him a lot in the screen game. They used him a lot to stretch the field. So I feel like, man, they'll use Debo Samuel as like a Swiss Army knife within this offense to do many different things and to really keep the defense on their toes, man, because that's what it is, man. At this point, nothing about the Commanders will be a secret, right? Everybody knows that Jayden Daniels is him. We're not going to be able to sneak up on anybody. Teams are going to be preparing for us. They're going to have to prepare for us. So we have to really come out with the big guns and really make some big plays and have some big playability within this offense. So I think Debo Samuel will be one of those guys that can be a big play weapon for Jayden Daniels and the Commanders.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Question from George. George says that, do you guys think keeping our draft pick and draft for positions or trade back and acquire more picks? I'll let you handle that real quick.
I really think at the end of the first round, I think I don't know what they're gonna do right now. I really think it's gonna determine how the first 10 to 12 picks go, right? Let's say teams make a run on defensive ends and some of those offensive pieces are still available. They might hang on to that spot. They might try to come up a little bit, right? But let's say you get around 15 and your board is kind of slimming out for your first round talent. You may trade out, maybe, acquire another second round pick, acquire another third round pick for some teams that may come up and reach on some guys, or some teams that may want to come up and get a guy that they like early. We're not used to being at this point in the draft. We're not used to being in the back, the bottom half of the draft, right? So I feel like with Adam Peters, he'll be able to have the pick of the litter, man, to really be able to kind of do what he wants to do or do what they feel. And I feel like where we will be drafting, it'll be a lot of specialty guys. It'll be guys that can really do some unique things. Because at the beginning of the draft, they're gonna be the top tier talent. Them guys gonna be gone. We're not worried about that.
Yeah.
But I feel like at that back end of the first round, you might have a pick of the litter of everybody else, right? So the thing about it is, man, and this is even after last year, man, I truly just trust Adam Peters and staff, man, because he really showed me, and who am I, right? He showed me that wherever they draft, or whether in free agency or wherever, they can get the right guys to fit what they want to do. So I feel like whatever they decide to do at that pick, they'll be able to get the right guy that can come in, be plug and play day one, and really do what they want to do. If they decide to keep it, or if they trade out, I think they still will be able to get depth on the back end.
What did trying to see what
I like that.
Nasdaq 33 says, I don't know if there are going to be too many teams. I mean, to be many teams wanting to trade up.
Yeah.
This isn't a very top heavy draft.
I could also see, maybe, and to that point, I like that because I feel like they aren't as hyped. Like it's only 2 quarterbacks being talked about right now at the top, and really it's only one. They really talking about Cam, and then they on the fence about Shador, right?
Yeah, they
last year. Yeah, they are. And I'm getting into that too. I'm gonna talk about my baby. I'm gonna talk about him. But he was gonna get a prime impression at some point, right? He was gonna get one. But I think like last year, how 6 quarterbacks went in the first round. Last year would have been a year if they had a pick late like that, where you might got some teams coming up and moving around. But I also could see something about this. I could see not necessarily them trading out too far out of this spot, but I could see them getting, maybe trading into the second round and maybe acquiring some future picks possibly for, next year's draft, where next year's draft may have a little more talent coming out, especially if they feel really confident with what they have on hand. But like you said, man, the world will be your oyster that late in the draft. You'll really be able to decide what you want to do. And also too, man, you really might get a team that's hungry to come up and want to get in Mazda. What was it? Mazda? Oh yeah. Mazda said, that it's not a lot of talent, but I think in this, man, you get some desperate teams. Somebody might want to come up and reach for Jackson Dart. Somebody might want to come up and reach for Jalen Milroe at the end of the first round. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
they do that
that could be an option for them. But like I said, man, I have trust in what Adam Peters can do and who they can find, and I think we'll be good regardless of where we draft this year.
All right. Paul said, fellas, I say go with best available player at 29. Don't trade just to be traded back.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, I think at that 29th spot, you're in a sweet spot, right? Because you can go best player available. Or if it's best player available plus a position of need, you definitely can go take it there. But I feel like they may be slow. I feel like they may be slow to make some decisions. Like if there's nobody that they're in love with right there at that pick, I don't think they're gonna reach and make a pick like a weird pick, like like we've done in previous years. Man. I think they'll stand pat and really probably take you, like you said, Paul. I think they probably will end up taking best player available to get that draft. But Adam Peters with the ability to acquire more picks, I think he'll definitely use that as bait to kind of dangle out there and try to get some more picks in this draft.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to take the best available defensive player.
Yeah,
it's hard to take an old line, like usually good old linemen left, tackles, whatever, don't really drop that far. You can get a good. I think
if they do draft at 29, I think it probably will be defensive end. I think it also depends upon what running backs have gone already, because if there's a run on running backs, I think they might go get one. So like, I mean, I know it would be too early, but like, I would love Omarion Hampton on this roster, not just because he's a Tar Heel, but I think he's a good mix of all the running backs that we have right now. I think 29 would be too high to go get him. But
some people got him going earlier than that. I'm not gonna lie.
But I think that's also too. If there's a run on one thing, let me just shout out to the league for making the running back important again, right? Shout out to Saquon, and I normally don't give love to any Eagles, but shout out to Saquon.
He did it, man.
He definitely
and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Paul. Hey, you don't have to apologize for your opinion, brother. That's yours. That's your opinion. I don't care. But I think Omari and Hampton will be a good fit in this offense, man. But like I said, it could just depend upon what's happening around the draft. If there's a run on position players, if there's a run on guys, you might have them go get go grab a player. But I think defensive end at that spot, they should go defensive end if they can help it.
Yeah, just like George said, the Aggie, Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. is a guy that they have Washington going after. I mean, my preference is everybody knows who the running back I like out of this draft, and it's hard for me to say it, but it's the truth. I just love the kid from Ohio State. I just think he's just amazing. I think he fits everything.
You loving a Buckeye?
Crazy,
oh my
right?
gosh, that's like me saying I love somebody from NC State or Pew.
I know, bro. It's nasty work. I know it's nasty work. But
speaking
so
of that,
good.
let me just say this: like, if the Wizards can somehow find a way to get super flag,
I know.
I want it. I want to see it happen, bro. He's no longer. He
I
don't have to worry about it no more, bro. If the Wizards can find a way to do that, I know you got basketball another time, but if they can find a way to get him, like, yeah, sign me up.
Yeah. Henderson at 20. Henderson will be like, I think you can get Henderson in the second round, but I like him a lot though. I think all like the mocks I'm looking at, I don't see him in the first, but that's
Wally, look at what we lacked last year, right?
An explosive back.
We lacked that explosive player at running back. If you can get an explosive player at running back, that really changes the whole dynamic of your offense.
Right.
Like it really does. Like, I mean, imagine if we had a guy like Saquon Barkley, right? Just imagine
with Jayden. Excuse me, with Jayden.
You literally, like, you have to cover every blade of grass with a dynamic running back in this offense. You have to literally account for everyone. And the thing about football, I mean, I went to Prince George's County School. My math ain't all that good, but I'm gonna tell you, you ain't gonna be able to cover everybody.
Don't do that.
I know, I'm sorry. Hey, you ain't gonna be able to cover everybody. So if you get somebody that's dynamic at the running back position, man, that really changes this offense for the better. And then also too, I'm looking for I mean, I know they love Zach Ertz and they re-sign Bates, but if we can find, I mean, and I know we're waiting on Sennett to come around, but I think, bro, a dynamic tight end, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, late in this draft, man, tight end out of Carolina, Bryson Nesbitt, man. Listen, I mean, hey, I'm just saying, and oddly enough, man, I coached that kid, bro, in Charlotte, North Carolina, back in 2013, man. I coached him. His dad is a former Super Bowl champion with the Saints, Jamar Nesbitt, a great guy, awesome coach. Shout out to Big Nez. But he has that pedigree, and the dude is a crazy athlete, freakishly amazing, and he can ball, man. So that's what I'm saying. You might be able to find some steals, and that's why I trust Adam Peters to be able to find those types of guys and be able to find those players throughout this draft, man. See, thank you, Paul. We agree. We agree on something.
I know. Look at that. Look at that. Imagine we had Debo at wide receiver last year. How dynamic would our offense have been?
Slim, it's crazy, bro. It's
crazy. I agree. I think Debo would have been lights up. All right, now let's get to the actual topic ahead. That was good though. I ain't gonna lie, that was good work. I wanted to make sure I summarized everything that my guy DH had to think about during this offseason. I wanted to put it all out there for you all.
Thank you, man. I should do better at actually doing more episodes, huh? I should really.
No. I'm just saying you have been on. I didn't look. You haven't been on this show. I'm just trying to make sure.
True. All right,
that's all I'm saying. I ain't look. I ain't putting your flags for your own your content. I'm talking about this show.
Got you.
Know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? For people who may have not heard it over there, like to hear it over here. That's it.
Nah, you know what? And there's nothing wrong with sharing information, man.
Exactly, bro.
It could be more than one. Like we talked about before we got on, man. You don't have to be one way or the other. You can it could be more than one, bro.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. All right. Well, Wes Welker has joined the staff as a personnel analyst, which I was like, all right, what is that? But it's okay. We'll be working with the coaching staff and personnel as well. What are your thoughts on the move?
Well, I'll say initially I didn't really have too many thoughts, but as I was booked to come on the show, I had to actually do some research and actually had to take a look. One thing I will say about Wes Welker, I mean, excellent player, played in the league for a while, had great talent at quarterback. And Paul, I really like what you said. He's another set of eyes. I really like that. The one thing I do think he will add to this to this roster, or to this team rather, is that, man, Dan Quinn is a coach whisperer, bro. He does a great job at getting coaches and getting guys that can really lock in with the players, right? So the fact that you pretty much have 99% of your coaching staff returning, it'll only be an add-on for those guys. And then on top of that, man, finding a crafty wide receiver like that will help our wide receivers, man. Because I think our receivers got that dog, man. They really that'll help them find the spots in the offense, really be able to just expound upon what you already know. And I like that, man. He's definitely another set of eyes that can really kind of show these young guys and these younger receivers how to really play in this league and how to stick in this league. Because that's the one thing, man. The average career is 3 years, bro.
Yeah.
And for Wes Welker to play as long as he did, um, he had to find a way to be that guy and to be the guy for his quarterback. So I love the addition. Like I said, man, they know what they're doing, man. They know what they're doing. They add people that can fit into what they do. And like Dan Quinn saying, we want commanders, and it's the certain guys that fit their narrative and fit their role, what they're looking for. And I feel like he'll do that for them.
Yeah, I mean, I like the move. I mean, you see his body work. He was in Miami. He's on Miami staff. He was on San Francisco staff. Obviously, the connection with Adam Peters.
Yep.
Obviously, the connection with Cliff Kingsbury, because they both played at Texas Tech together. So there's connection. There's a connection there. So it's almost like the perfect fit in a way.
Yeah.
When you look at it that way, I feel like he can obviously have adding another ex-player to the staff is good. You know what I mean? This staff is highlighted with so many good coaches already. Just to add a guy who's been a champion, I think that's a plus. He's been a champion. And can also spread that knowledge to the guys who haven't been there before. So I think that's a cool thing.
Man, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go.
No, man, I think when you're building a team, man, it's all about good voices, right? So if you got a good voice in the room that you trust, that really just extends as a head coach, having good positional coaches, it really just extends your message, right? So if you're able to get a guy that thinks along the way that you think, it'll be, they'll be able to extend the message of winning and how the head coach wants to do things. So I think that'll be another addition as well. And truly, man, it's just really getting a great combination of guys, of staff that can really drive home that message. And I think it goes on to what happened last year. You find out the one piece, the couple things that we didn't have, right? Maybe it is another set of eyes. Maybe you do need another voice. Maybe you do need to have somebody else that can help teach these young guys how to win, teach them how to get on the field, how to stay on the field. I really feel like their moves now that they're doing, whether it's player or staff, is they're really trying to find whatever that one thing can be to help unlock and take us to the next level. Because falling one game short of the Super Bowl really makes you feel like you're right there. And I really feel like the team believes they're right there. So they're trying to find one guy that can really help them get over that hump.
Yeah, and it's all about, like, to me, to your point, you're referring to like synergy, right? That's where they're kind of bringing that synergy to, like, all right, another guy to keep that message going, right? We mentioned the link with Wes Welker and Cliff Kingsbury. That too, you can imagine they're going to share a message because of their bond at college. Adam Peters, they're going to share a message because of the experience together in San Francisco, right? So I do think that when you have that element, yeah, there's somebody else who can actually help get that message penetrated to the other individuals. So I do think, and also for Wes Welker, I think it's being a part of the personnel staff, I feel like it's a learning experience for him, right? So it's kind of setting him up and preparing him on like an intern-ish type of thing, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, to learn. I think that enticed him to come over here.
I like what Mazdak said. People who have won the Super Bowl is so underrated to have in the building, right?
I agree.
Winning the Super Bowl is the ultimate goal, right? So having somebody in the building that you can really go to and ask about those things, because Wally, I mean, you have never been a CEO of a Fortune 500 company.
Not at all. Yeah.
Like, so having the access to someone around you to be able to ask them those questions, to figure out what they did to get to that point, to figure out what didn't they do, like what moves, like what additional things do they need to do. I read on Commander's Wire that Welker helped Debo with maintain his weight while in San Francisco. Is it what you eat? Is it how you work out? Is it when you work out? Is it the type of film study that you're doing? What could it be? What can those winning things be to help you get over the hump? And just like Mazdak said, being able to have someone that you can go to talk about this Super Bowl. And I think even with Dan Quinn, really having the Super Bowl in his grasp and losing it, I think that's what keeps him hungry to keep pushing and try to get over that hump. Because, man, let me tell you, man, getting to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl is a hard thing to do. Some guys get there and never get back. Some people never sniff it at all. So it's really trying to give you way more opportunities to continue to build upon that. And whatever it takes to do it, I feel like the Commanders are definitely trying to do that.
Yeah, they are. They're trying to be, it's about setting a culture, a championship culture. You talked about it earlier, DH. One game away, you know what I mean? You want to learn from that. Like that, what else is better than having an individual who won multiple Super Bowls, right? Yeah. Who was on a championship, a dynasty, not just a dude that was on a dynasty and was a big time player within that dynasty, and also for somebody like Jayden Daniels, a guy who played with the GOAT. Like you can't get better than like that knowledge. Now you have access to Jayden Daniels now has access to that knowledge.
I hate to make it so mundane with this analogy, but it's just like your first crush that you loved and you never got a chance to take her out. You never got a chance to go with her. It's like every woman after that, you're trying to measure up to that. You're trying to get that feeling that you got with her. Some never achieve it. Some do achieve it, right? But you have a measuring stick. And I think last year the Commanders really set a precedence to how to get it done. And they're always gonna, it's like a high, bro. You're always gonna be chasing that until you get it. You know what I mean? And then even once you get it, you can want it again. But this is a good high to have. You know what I'm saying? Winning is a good high. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna forever constantly be chasing to be the best team at the end of the year. And now, like I said, you're gonna try to do everything you can to fulfill that, whether it's getting people in the building that have done it before to help take on some of them characteristics, whether it's I watched the interview with Dan Quinn and he mentioned whether it's Dan Quinn mentioned how as a coach he really had to allow himself to get feedback and really figure out hey
Todd, you ain't lying. Hey Todd, you ain't lying.
Shout out to Facebook, man.
shout out for real.
Hey,
Facebook was a real MVP at that time.
Man, I went back and completed a lot of goals I had.
Me too, man.
I
called Facebook my revenge tour.
Hey, Slim, I went back and got it done. Come on, hold on. Hey, Shannon be like, when Facebook came out, I went and got it done. Lakers in 5. Facebook, library book. I took Lakers in 5. But no, man, you always are looking to try to, repeat that. And I think whatever that takes, they're gonna do that. And like you said, man, that culture thing was a big deal, right? Yeah. They really changed the culture here. And Mr. Underwood,
what's going on, Mike? What's good, bro?
Man, I hope you're doing good, man. I haven't seen Mr. Underwood probably in some time, man. I hope you're doing well, brother.
My guy, man. My guy.
But yeah, man, changing that culture like they did in the year, man, they really set the precedence, bro. They really have changed the whole narrative about how this team is even looked at across the league, let alone within our DMV and in our franchise. They really just changed how they're looked at across the league. So I love that for them, man. And that's why everything they do is going to be under the microscope. It's going to be scrutinized. It's going to be, really looked at hard because, we're one of them teams now. We're mentioned as one of them teams now going forward with Jayden.
Oh, man. Oh, I love it, Mike. I love to hear this.
I'm glad you're doing well, brother.
Yeah,
real talk, man.
Real talk, bro. Folks don't know on the streams. I've been asking for you, Mike, and I'm glad you're doing well. Yeah, man, I am. But yeah, I'm glad that they're bringing more, champions in the building. No, I mean, they got champions everywhere. Dan Quinn was a champion with the Seahawks. We just talked about bringing Wes Welker, Magic Johnson, probably one of the ultimate winner, in life. They got champions everywhere, bro. Real talk. I like what they're bringing you know, within this whole franchise period. Like that winning mentality is everywhere. You know, winning is contagious. You know what I'm saying? Like that mentality is contagious.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, you look at across the league, bro, a winning mentality is hard, bro. Like it's hard to have. Like, cause you look at franchises like the Browns. Like they don't feel like nothing is getting better. Like, you know, and for a long time we felt like this, right?
Yeah.
Until Jayden came in and Dan Quinn came in and really changed course. So now that's why I said that's why the offseason is not, it's just a normal offseason. It's you know, figuring out who we gonna pick in 29th, bro. Like what? Like, bro, we ain't never picked that late. So, you know, we're not fumbling around trying to get a bridge quarterback. We're not trying to, you know, get the young up and coming coordinator as our coach. We're not, you know, questioning every move made by a general manager. We've changed. Dan Quinn changed the culture in 1 year. Well, actually, let me start with this. Josh Harris changed the culture in the year. Just on an overall holistic thing, and then bringing in winners and bringing in with that different mentality, that brotherhood that Dan Quinn talks about. Like it's a big thing, man. It's a great thing. So that winning culture is definitely here, and you want winners in the room to help teach some of these youngins and help teach these guys how to do it.
What did my man say? Mike said all of our receivers have a chip on their on their shoulders. Definitely do. Definitely do. Here. If I'm the current wide receiver coach, I stand out my resume. Yeah, I don't know if that's his plan. I feel like where he's positioned, it seems like he's in a better position than just being a wide receiver coach. I mean, anytime you be part of personnel too, that means you're trying to learn the backing of the game too. Like he looks like he wants to, in my opinion, the way I look at it, he wants to possibly be a GM down the road, something like that.
Yeah, you know, and that's kind of where you started at with the being a personnel guy or being a scout or something like that. Like that's where you do it, because you got to look at the players differently, right? You got to look at the business aspect of the players as far as contract, but you really get a different set. You get a different visualization of how you look at the players, and you know what goes into the player as a whole, and not just the player on the field for being the coach.
I like this question from Taj. Says, what do you think and contribute the most to this new culture change? I'll let you handle this, DH.
I think honesty contributed the most to this culture change. Josh Harris coming in and just being honest with the fan base, you know, being accessible, really just kind of, and I think you learn with this with Josh Harris, you learn that people will really give you grace if you just act like you care. You know what I'm saying? I think the whole issue, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but the whole issue with Snyder was he wasn't accessible. And while he may have made moves, make high dollar moves and stuff like that to show you that he cared, he wasn't accessible to the fans. He wasn't accessible to the media. You couldn't really get a beat on how he really felt, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of times we'll give you grace if we know that you're trying and we know that this is an active effort to try to get better. But when you have as many issues as Daniel Snyder did, you know, all that grace is lost. So I think Josh Harris, man, with the honesty, and really having the fans in mind with trying to do things, bringing on guys, you know, like Magic Johnson, who has that flair, that panache, that personability that can really get in touch with the fans and really being accessible and out there. I think that's what really helped to change the culture with the fans. Now, on the flip side, I think what changed the culture in the locker room is having a good coach who really, I think, and I don't know either of those guys personally, but I think Dan Quinn really challenged the players to really play for that name on the front and for the name on their back of their jersey, man. Like really challenge them. Like, look, man, this team is coming to a lot of scrutiny, and the only way for us to get better is by really taking this whole opportunity by the horns and really trying to be better and really becoming one. They got rid of a lot of that individual stuff, and it was just it just felt like a more cohesive unit. Granted, winning will do that, but I mean, they just look like a different ball club, man. Like I really believe, man, this is a completely different ball club that's gotten here since ownership change, man.
Winning does everything, man. And then but it's not you just don't, winning is not like a lucky thing. You know what I mean? To a season, yes, but to maintain winning is about who you bring in the building, the culture, or whatever. And they brought in the right people to what DH is referring to, talking about. Like everybody knows I'm biased when it comes to Magic Johnson. That's my GOAT. So we have an individual like for me. So I'm a gas up everything Magic. So we be prepared. But like when a guy who's won in almost every level of sports, of basketball, where he's at, his profession, college, NBA championship, Olympian, like he's won in every level in sports, and
one in business with Starbucks, with AMC, and then with the Dodgers.
Yeah,
like I mean, he's won everywhere.
Yeah, so you have a guy in the building like that, then you bring in guys who've done it before, and just in the coaching staff, you know what I mean? Like Ken Norton Jr. Was a champion with back in the day with the Cowboys. Like he was a champion.
Cowboys and the 49ers.
You know what I'm saying? I want to say Daryl Tapp was on the Seattle Seahawks championship team. I want to say too. I'm not sure. But he's played his team was contenders. They were contenders, and constantly when he was in the building. You know, Dan Quinn, they led the Legion of Boom. Like that defense was dominant, championship defense. So like you just got guys bringing in Wes Welker. Obviously, right recently you have and Bobby Wagner, champion. Like you're bringing in guys who've done it before and done it. Zach Ertz too as well. So you bring guys who've never done it can now you have an environment of not just winning, but winning at the highest level, and I think that's very important.
And I mean, you got guys that were able to believe in what the coaches were doing, man. Like guys that were able to believe in Cliff, what he was doing. Even though Joe Witt Jr. didn't have all the success, I believe they fought hard for him. Yeah. And that's a key, bro. Like, and we know this even in regular life, bro. If you got a good manager, a good supervisor that you really trust and that you like, and that really looks out for you and really like, you'll do whatever they ask you to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's the key. I feel like they really ride hard for Dan Quinn. And just like you, T Black, I was wrong too, bro. I was wrong. I feel you, DJ. No worries, bro. But when you have a guy that you trust and that you really like, you'll do whatever they ask you to do, man. And that's good. I really think they did a great job with building a relationship between player and coaches. And having guys like you said, Daryl Tapp, guys that can really relate, guys that can really kind of get in there with them. And let me tell you, with playing ball, it's so much easier to trust a guy that did it, right? So
it's the truth, man.
You look at you look at Ken Norton, right? Why, as a linebacker, why would you not believe anything Ken Norton says? Because he's done it at the highest level. He's played well. I mean, he's coached on a Super Bowl winning roster. I mean, coached a Super Bowl team, won a Super Bowl as a player. Like, bro, why wouldn't you believe what he's saying? You know what I mean? So being able to really have guys that you can refer to that have done it before, the same way I use that CEO analogy. If you got a CEO, you can talk to them how they've done it. You're willing to trust them a little more because you've actually seen them do it. So, like Coach Lombard said, from the position coaches, we have a good group of position coaches, and as the head coach and the coordinator goes, your position coaches are the most important when it comes to building a roster and kind of getting that love together.
No, I agree with that. What did you say? I reference to head coaches. Yeah, I agree. But I just think that in the grand scheme of things, they've put themselves in a good situation in terms of like cultivating a winning culture. I think that's very important from where we were at before, right? Like that's where it's at. Like now there are guys in the building who can teach you how to win. You can't obviously you go through a process, the trials and tribulations, but when you got people in the building who can teach you how to win, that's very important.
Bro, it's crazy. It goes back to honesty, right? I think Dan Quinn came in and really set the precedence. Like, look, man, I'm not expecting for us to go win a Super Bowl, right? I'm expecting for us to get better. I'm expecting for us to rebuild the culture on the backside. Now they got Jayden Daniels, and the Super Bowl became a real possibility for us, right? Yeah. But I think, man, that honestly, like, think about it. Ron Rivera was really trying to sell us that we was gonna be a good team, and every year we weren't a good team. We had no stability at positions of need. We didn't have a quarterback. We were always trying to get that. The ownership was shaky. Like, I would have rather had a coach come out and tell me, like, hey man, we're a bad ball club. we bad. We not in a good situation. but we're gonna work hard though. We're gonna try hard. We're gonna do our best. And I think, as a person, bro, like that's all you can expect. Like if your boss come in and tell you like, hey, look, we got a lot of stuff to fix. We got a lot of things to do. I'm not expecting you to do more than what I would do, but we're gonna work hard. We're gonna work together. We're gonna try to, I love that analogy, DJ. I love that. That's exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, I ain't gonna display it, DJ, because you cursing and stuff.
That's exactly what he was saying. He was trying to sell sugar honey iced tea as sugar, and it's not that. If you come in and sell sugar honey iced tea as sugar honey iced tea, and say, hey, sugar honey iced tea, but we got the toilet paper though. We gonna clean it up. We gonna work. We're gonna try to build it and do what we got to do. People can respect that, and people can get behind that. And I think that's an entire narrative at the highest level in our as we talked about before this call, bro, before this show. If people just come out and be honest and tell you what it really is, you'll have people on your side and people will rock for you and really try and really understand that there's a growth process.
I totally agree. Ty says you don't want the Mike Shanahan, John Baker's the best. You ain't lying, man. That's a dude who lies to your face. Ron was a lie. Like I feel like Ron just wasn't good at coaching. I'm gonna be real, Matt. Be real with you. I don't think I just think he just wasn't good at coaching. I'm just gonna be honest with you,
bro. Because just because you played doesn't mean you're gonna be a good coach.
Yeah.
And it's some guys who've never touched the blade of grass but can coach, bro. Like that's what I'm saying, bro. You don't like it's a tough thing, man. It's really about getting people. It's really about getting people on board and getting people to trust you, getting people to believe you. But that comes with honesty, bro. Like, and as a coach, like, you can't like if John Beck is gonna be your starter, right? All right, cool. Like, you gotta sell it as he's gonna be your guy.
Yeah.
But you also gotta understand that, hey, he's our guy, but we always trying to get better. Like, come on, bro.
Say something like that, like because it was Kyle and Mike.
Because even John Beck knew that he wasn't the best.
Yeah,
that's the thing, bro. Most of these guys, and Wiley, man, let's call a spade a spade. Most of these guys know what they are.
They know who they are.
A lot of these guys know that, bro. I don't know how I made the roster. I'm keeping getting a check. And a lot of these guys know that if they're him, they're really him. Yeah. A lot of guys may be on the cusp. Maybe they need somebody to help bring that out. But most of these guys know where they are. You know who you are at work. You know you're the guy that can be reliable, dependable, or you the guy that don't really do too much. You get your check, you're gonna do your job, but you know who you are, man. Yeah. And most coaches and most leaders are only gonna ask you to do what you're required to do and what they know you can do within that job. So, I mean, you knew John Beck wasn't him, but they tried to sell us that he was him. And John Beck knew he wasn't him. He was like, bro, I don't know how I'm getting this starting job, but I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. God bless him. I mean, nobody's gonna say no to an opportunity. That's the truth. Ain't that the truth? And folks, if you're new to the stream, to either stream, the Breaking Command stream on YouTube or the Urban Sports Scene stream on YouTube, and hit that subscribe button. Also like the video because it does well for the algorithm. So if you can do that right now, we appreciate it. And if you are subscribed to it to either channel, hit the like button on the video too. That does well for the algorithm on YouTube. It does well for the algorithm. It's all about the algorithm. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The algorithm is real. The algorithm is real. It pops up once people kind of get the vibe of a show. It pops up all the time. All right. So for you, DH, who will benefit the most from Welker's arrival? What entity? It doesn't have to be player, coach, whatever. Who benefits the most?
I don't know if it will be a specific entity, but I think overall he may help with the winning mentality in the building, as we talked about earlier. Just another guy that you can go to and say, hey, what did you do to get it done? What is it like playing with a top tier quarterback like Tom Brady? What is it like playing with Peyton Manning at the end of his career? Like, what is it like? You know what I mean? And just being an asset of guys that they could just go talk to, man. You can go down to his office and talk to him and really ask some other questions, but I don't know if it's going to be a specific person. I like Mr. Underwood's comment with saying that Luke will be the direct. It's because he white ain't. No, I'm joking.
No, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Luke said it. My man, I'm gonna get Dujane. He said it first though. Dujane said it first. He said,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, but truly though, I really think that it will, because he can ask them those slot questions like, man, how do you get open in the slot? How can you find that space? Like, what is it like being a wide receiver in a completely black offense? Like, what is it like? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking, man.
You know that's what everybody thinks. Though. Don't give it to me.
I know, but I'm
at least you keep it 100.
But no, I'm joking, man. But like he really will be able to ask those kind of situational questions. Like what will it take for me to really get there? And then, after Terry and after Debo, we got to find that third guy. We got to find who is it. Is Luke going to come of age? Is Luke going to be that guy that can really step in and do those types of things that we need? But yeah, I think it'll help the overall mentality with the guys. And like, most of the comments said that Luke would be the direct benefactor of that.
Yeah.
What about you, man? What you think?
So I do think one, it would be, obviously, I mean, Luke comes to mind. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, so I won't even hold you. But Debo does too as well. I think Debo's gonna benefit the most, in my opinion. I just think that Debo, Debo, his past, relationship with Debo in San Francisco helps. What you talked about, keeping the weight down, and then secondly, just being a guy that will be utilized in the slot. Like Debo we will be playing a slot. So you can only imagine that, Debo being a slot, who was one of the best slot receivers in the game, was Wes Welker, right? So I do think he benefits anybody in the slot, to be real with you. So it'll be Debo. But ideally, if I had to think about a receiver who's going to be on the slot, who will be utilized out of the slot for this team, I think in 2025 to 2026, I think it would be like a Debo. But yeah, obviously I can say Wes Welker. It's easy to. Luke McCaffrey. It's easy to say it because there are similarities in that aspect, but I don't know what Luke is as a slot receiver. We didn't see enough of him. So for me to tell you that he's capable of being like a really good slot receiver, it's only because of the characteristics of what he looks like, and is a thing. I don't know what Luke McCaffrey is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also too, I think with your point, like, what will be Wes Welker's true role? Like, I know it'll be like probably evaluation and talent stuff. I think he may impact more in draft situations and pre-draft analysis. He may help in pre-draft analysis, or guys that may be developmental guys. He may really help with that and kind of his analysis on them, and really finding out who can work within this offense, right? Because knowing what type of offense that we'll like to run, maybe he'll be a great guy that can kind of maybe he'll be a guy that can really kind of see, I lost my whole train of thought.
I know Taj is a jerk, man.
But no, he'll be a guy that can help evaluate and kind of really see who works well within what we like to do.
Yeah, Taj didn't know that folks call me Wally. It's all good, Taj. Taj, Wally's like my street name.
Yeah, man. I know on the show I gotta say Wole.
No. Folks who know me, like
Wally.
Yeah, Wally, my street name. Wole's my professional name. You see, I heard. That's yeah. But to your point. See, now I lost my train.
See
what you're doing, Todd? Yeah, I just but I do think that in terms of obviously teaching a guy that you want to be a better want to be your slot receiver, because that's where he came in and everyone thought you would be a slot receiver. I do think that, obviously learning from Wes Welker will benefit him. You know what I mean? Regardless of, it'll benefit him. You know what I mean? So, and we'll see how that pans out. But I do think in terms of like a guy who's done it before, I'm gonna say that it's gonna help Debo the most, because Debo, one, he's in the contract year, right? Secondly, you got like you're gonna learn all the tricks by Wes Welker again, right there in game. Hopefully in game, right? Hopefully Wes is out there in game and he can kind of lean on Debo Samuels can lean on him. So you know what I'm saying? So to that point, I do believe that Wes will be good for Debo. But my man Telly on X, what's up, Telly? Telly said Luke and Debo. So he does agree with Luke. He did both Luke and Debo. Yeah, I mean, but everybody's gonna learn. Terry's gonna learn from him too. Like Paul said, honestly, gonna help the receivers. Yeah, I agree with that, Paul. He is. He's gonna help the receivers. I mean, again, you learn from a champion. Why not? Like, why wouldn't you go to him? Like, especially if you're playing the slot, why wouldn't you go approach him and say, "Hey, Wes, man, am I missing something here? What do I need to do to get open? Like, how do I get more open for Jayden in this
But
situation?" Like,
I think DQ has cultivated an environment that you can go to any coach in the building and talk to
yeah,
them and really figure out what it is. I don't know if there's gonna be an actual quantifiable thing you can say that Wes Welker directly contributed to. But I think, like we said earlier, just having someone else in the building that knows what it's like to win, that knows what it's like to be in this type of offense, and just be a good guy that you can go to, a resource, man. That's really what it's about, man. It's about having good resources for these guys to help them develop, and really get that point across. Because, like I said, man, we're right there in the window. That our winning window is wide open, so we gotta really attack that, and it's whatever we need to do to really attack that.
yeah, I agree with this, Paul. Like, yeah, just like Zach Ertz, yeah, and he's gonna help Jayden too as well, man. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like anytime you got guys who did it at a high level, I mean, shoot, on that perfect season when Randy was getting money, Wes Welker was killing too. Like,
Oh man.
they look, man. When you got guys in the building who can do it at a high level, coach said wasn't Welker a natural separator? Do you have a single
Nope.
one of those guys now?
Other than Terry.
Terry's a natural separator.
Yeah, other than Terry, no. I mean,
Yeah.
Terry's like the main guy that could really create space.
Yeah.
I love, and it was funny because like I would see a lot of times in short yardage situations, guys would play off of Terry. You know, he running a quick slant, like, and he'd be right there, able to make space. Being able to um being able to help find some space. I think definitely that'll help with some guys here.
Yeah, I agree. I said, I'm sorry, but if I'm a wide receiver, I'm calling Wes off. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna. I mean, you have Wes in the building. It's gonna help. Like, it's gonna help, man. It's gonna help. I don't know, like, if I'm gonna lie to you. I don't know if I'm an outside dude. I'm hitting up West, because he didn't get money on the outside. He was an inside dude getting money. Like, an outside dude to beat somebody on the outside is different from inside. We all know his option routes are different from like playing the outside position, where you gotta use physicality, you gotta have route running. There's a plethora of things you need to have to play on the outside. On the inside, it's difficult for a corner to check somebody on the inside. Let's keep it being like, because especially when you're running option routes, you don't know where someone's going. So Wes can tell you the best way how to use leverage or whatever from the inside. He could definitely show you how to do that. So I think on the inside mentality, if I'm an inside dude, I'm going to Wes Welker, period. On the outside, I mean, that's either here nor there. But on the inside, he can know all positions, but he played the one when I'm talking like me and D, like how DH and I were talking about, like what DH mentioned. You want a guy who's done it before, preference, right? Who's done it before. But if I look at you on the outside, he may get, and I'm not saying he's gonna have the wrong answer teaching somebody from the outside. That's what I'm saying. But I'm telling you, his body of work, we're talking about a track worker, his body of work is what he did on the inside. Like his money, when you saw Wes getting money, it was inside. It wasn't outside. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna go to him, you're gonna automatically feel like biased thinking alone. You're gonna think, I'm going to West. If I'm an inside slot dude, I'm definitely going to West. Outside, you may not think that way. You may think like, man, I mean, you may think differently. You know, that's all I'm saying. You may think differently. Didn't say it's right or wrong, but you may think differently.
No, I agree with that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you mix it up, get guys wherever they can go. Like, whatever you can do to create mismatches on the defense, like, you get guys wherever. So, I mean, trust me, man. I feel like Cliff Kingsbury know what he's doing, bro. He proved to me last year that he know what he's talking about, and he'll do whatever he got to take to get those guys in the right positions, and get them in the right spots. But, yeah, man, I would love to see Terry in the slot situation sometimes, man. Having to go up against, you know, a weaker corner. Yeah, bro. Like,
look, man,
I would love that.
Folks don't want to hear it. Cowboy fans don't want to hear it, but I say it. CeeDee Lamb does that all the time.
Yeah, he move around.
But the majority where he lines up, he be in that slot. He be in that slot,
bro. When you got a player that's a weapon, bro.
Yeah,
I think you just got to put him wherever.
Yeah,
wherever you can find a mismatch, wherever they can create. I think you put them there.
Yeah.
And you know, I think Terry came on the scene as just an outside receiver. They didn't really have to build him inside, but I mean, put him wherever you can, bro.
I definitely put in the slot. And also that's a guy too. I'm with everybody. He can learn from Wes Welker to play the slot. I think that'd be great to really move Terry around to make him more like you can't really key on him. Yeah, I think that would be ideal. Like him in the slot would be perfect. And to be honest with you, I think Coach Lombard talked about Cheetah. Yeah, Jay loved that like Cheetah offense. Yeah, I agree. So I would definitely go with that. I like that mentality. To be real with you, I like that mentality. Like move Terry around, man. Screw that. Move him around.
Why not?
Why not? I'm saying, why not? Why not? So for you, what are some of the benefits of having Welker on the coach, like on the personnel side of things? Like, what's the benefit of that?
I think
talk about coaching staff, but what like on personnel?
Well, just another set of eyes, man. Like to really look and see what this team may need or see who this team can develop. Because, like I said, he'll know what where we'll lack because he played the position, and I think he'll know like what guys to try to get so that they can help cultivate guys on the back end. Because right now we have 4 active receivers on the roster, and then 2 in the reserve or injured, like Noah Brown, and Chris Moore, and I think Casimir Allen. They still got him. So like. I'm sorry, not Casimir Allen, Lawrence Cager, like reserve future. Like, so you're gonna have to get some receivers. So you really got to know, what it's gonna take to fit in the offense, and really try to find some guys better. So I think he'll just be another good set of eyes that knows what to look for, and knows how to see, knows how to find winners. So I love him for the staff.
I said it earlier, man. I think that the benefit is to him. Like you get to learn how to, the front office situation. I think that's the benefits for him. Like you get to learn from Adam Peters. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's one of the best young execs in the game. You know what I mean? I feel like right now, I'm gonna say maybe I'm biased, but I feel like he's one of the best young execs in the game. So
no, everybody agree with that.
All right, yeah, exactly. So I feel like he gets to learn from that situation, and also it's always good to have a player in the build, player in that in that type of position. You know what I mean? To what you were talking about, knowing like he can see it from another set of eyes. Like, yeah, we need this, man. Like we need that. Like a wide receiver, we need this type of receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like because you can always go back to the thought process on his winning teams, whether it was the Denver Broncos or whether the New England Patriots. Like he played with Peyton too, so he can be like, all right, man, we had. Rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was in the slide. I'm trying to think who the other receiver was, but
with Denver,
was it Smith? Was Ron Smith still there when they won? He wasn't there anymore.
I'll find out. But keep talking.
So anyway, but he can he can situate and say like, all right, we had this. You know what I'm saying? To win football games. So I just feel like at the end of the day, like having him in the personnel staff, it would, it helps out. It does. It's always like, again, I'm always pro having a player, and that's within the office. I'm not saying he has to be the GM or anything, but being within the office, because there's a difference to the eyes rather than having guys who are some of them, these guys are just based on analytics, right? You got a guy who's done it, who's played it, who knows, all right, what it takes, in December to win football games. You know what I'm saying? Like what it takes to win in January to get to the big game. You know what I mean? So it's always good to say, all right, you know what? I like that dude's characteristics. He reminds me of who I played with in Denver. Oh, he reminds me of who I played with the Patriots. So I just think it's a good situation.
Yeah, that year they won the Super Bowl. It was Emmanuel Sanders and that was on that roster.
Yeah, Paul. Like I'm saying, he's doing both. He's in between both. Yeah, definitely. Same ad coach. Yeah, Eric, what's up? So yeah, who was the other receiver? My bad, I was reading.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Yes, right. That makes sense. Yeah, he was. He's outside. Yeah, he was outside. Yeah, he sure was outside.
Yeah, they had Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Jordan Norwood, Cody Latimer, Benny Fowler, and Andre Caldwell.
I was thinking about Cody Latimer too. But yeah, that was definitely. It was Sanders because that was Peyton's. That was like he was Peyton's like second receiver. Like he was getting busy. Peyton liked him a lot. But yeah, I mean, look, and I just named. I was talking about Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Dude played with 2 GOATs. Like, you know what? Jayden's gonna learn the most.
There you go.
Jayden gonna learn the most, man. Like I gotta tell I'm gonna go back. Jayden gonna learn the most. Damn, we didn't play with 2 GOATs. Like, what am I talking about?
Yeah, and Wes Welker played with them the year before. So Wes Welker didn't win the Super Bowl with them, but he played that year before.
Oh, he didn't win Super Bowl.
Nah,
the year before they
because
lost when
Peyton,
they got smashed. Or when they got
yeah,
smashed by Seattle, right?
yeah, in 2014. No,
Yeah.
actually lost in the divisional round that
Okay.
year.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm trying who lost? Yeah, so in 2014, Peyton Manning and the Broncos went to the playoffs, and he was on
Yeah.
that squad. And then the
Gotcha.
following year, that's when they won the Super Bowl.
Gotcha. So he wasn't on the year to follow. Okay, he wasn't on that
Right.
team. Okay, gotcha. All right. So take the top off. Yeah. Take the top off the field and defense focus on Terry. Yeah. I mean, Terry can take Terry truth be talking, well, he can take the top off the field. He is still a speed demon. And a lot of folks are try to get on Terry for getting walked, but then Terry hit y'all. Well, y'all must have that Roy Jones. Y'all must have forgot that he started getting all the big plays. And then
I beat him with a fractured wrist.
Because then Terry then took off and had all the explosive plays. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it is what it is. But but you know what? We about to wrap this show up real quick. But yeah, man, DH, before I wrap the show up, man, how can folks catch you on social media and catch your beautiful content, bro?
Hey, man, of course, if you're watching this right now, you can always hit that like button, that like and subscribe button for Urban Sports Scene and Breaking Command Entertainment. Now, I'm gonna warn you guys, my YouTube page is going through a transformation right now. I still have all my Commander stuff, but I'm adding a whole bunch of more content of everything else that I'm doing, music, acting, some comedy, all that stuff gonna be there. So come to Breaking Command Entertainment. It's gonna be a lot of things. While it's still that name, it's a work in progress. That name might be changed.
Name about to change. Okay.
Yeah. So pull up over there. You can see all the episodes of the Afternoon Kick with my partner in crime, Real Robinson, which airs every Wednesday. We will be getting in an episode next week before the draft to kind of get rolling again with it. You can follow me on Instagram and Threads at DWill Does It All. Please come check it out, man. I'm currently working on my comedy stuff, man. I'll be doing some stand-up in May, so stay there and check that out, and I'll share that with everybody. But man, I just I'm doing everything, man. I just love it. I appreciate you for always putting me on. Shout out to Facebook, you know what I'm saying? The Winklevoss twins, shout out to them. But yeah, man, I got a lot going on, so I appreciate you always supporting and always hanging out. And chat, man, I appreciate y'all, man, for giving me some grace, because I ain't been pumping out content like I used to, but man, I appreciate y'all, man. So DWill Does It All, and I changed that. Yeah, and it's still DH on the mic on Twitter, but I ain't on there no more. So
okay. Know what?
Nah,
I'm about to. Oh yeah, I feel you.
It's okay. You know why I'm not on there.
I know. I mean, I'm waiting. All I need, look, I ain't gonna hold you. All I need is blue sky to kind of give me some of these extra features, and then we did.
But bro, Threads is popping, bro. Like
I heard Threads is popping, but they don't live stream though.
No, they don't. That's
I need them to live. I need that element.
Yeah,
and then I'm back.
I think it might be coming soon though. I think it might be coming soon. But it's popping over there, man. It's starting to turn into Twitter a little bit, so it's cool, man. So yeah, man, you can hit me up on Threads and IG at DWill Does It All, man.
All I need is that change, bro. Give me that change, and we good. That's all I know.
Mr. Underwood, good with makeup and his baby girl.
What you say?
He been over on the Instagram. You know what's up. Hey man, I'm gonna tell you this. On the Instagram, bro, it's all different types of comedy, man. It's music, it's impressions. It's just all types of fun stuff. Man, I like to have a good time, man. I'm not a one-dimensional guy, man. I'm a multi-dimensional guy. So it's a whole lot of good stuff everywhere, man.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, also I'm with you, DH. Yeah, that's all I need, man. I just need that one little. I need a change, man. I'm with you, man. I'm ready to you know what time it is. I ain't going to get into that.
You already know it.
Yeah, I already know. All right, man. Let me before we let me knock out this show. Let me knock out remind y'all about some particular things. Again, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also follow us on X at Urban Sports Scene, IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and like our Urban Sports Scene page. Like DH said, man, make sure you subscribe to the Breaking Command Entertainment YouTube channel. Also hit that red subscribe button, like the video. When he changes the name, you make sure you subscribe. I mean, you already subscribed, but go back, tell your homies about it, and make them subscribe. And like all videos that's on that platform. All right, making sure y'all know that. But also for the Urban Sports Scene, search out our Urban Sports and YouTube channel if you're new. If you're watching this on different platforms, search it out. And also like this video, subscribe. Look, man, I told you algorithm. This needs to happen. All right, the algorithm. It's all about beating the algorithm. When we beat the algorithm, we win. So help me beat the algorithm. All right. Also check out our website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for pulling up in the chat. Y'all know y'all my fam. I appreciate y'all. I'm now getting back in the swing of things. You know, life was lifing. Elon was trying to get me. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I was like, nah, bro. I ain't gonna let you stop my motor, bro. Can't let Elon stop my motor. So I was like, you know what? I'm back outside. So yeah, I'm out here. We doing big things, man. So make sure you pull up, man. Me and DH, we still got some stuff to plan out, right, DH?
Yeah. Hey, it's still on the way, man.
I ain't forget about it. I just want you. I ain't forget about it. I just had to
I know.
I had to think about. But yeah, I'm.
Trust me, I know, bro. I know.
Exactly. So, but yeah, we gonna try. I'm gonna try to knock that out summer. I'm aiming for the summer to do this. So anyway, y'all appreciate y'all for pulling up. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. You dig? Deuces. We are out.
Peace.